BattaBox.
Hi guys, welcome back to BattaBox. I'm your host, Brodda Mike. So I've been in Nigeria here now for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to talk about the reasons why you should consider moving back to Nigeria. As you can see, it's very quiet, it's very serene, and there's just so much peace, for lack of a better term. Again, I know people are going to be like, well, Nigeria is not peaceful, but there are protests in other parts of the West and other parts of the world. So, but those are rare occasions when there are incidences that happen and people living there tend to kind of react to that. Otherwise, largely, Nigeria is very peaceful. And this has just been really, really mind-blowing for me. I haven't been one who lived abroad and just come back of late. And I've been visiting of recent. So just that peace and that quiet is really, really amazing. If you notice, there's probably some generators humming in the background. And that's because there's no electricity. So everybody has a generator going. Most times, that's because there's no power supply. If you can get over that power supply issue and we can overcome that, I think you would not regret moving back to Nigeria. So apart from the power supply issue that I just talked about, people also talk about security. But Nigeria is actually quite secure, depending on what part of the country you are in. So if you're in an estate or in an area where there's local security, which most people do have now these days, it's something that you would not regret, because your estate has their own security. Before people come and see you in the estate, most times they will have to call in, or there's a telecom whereby they have to make an announcement and say, so-so person is coming, do you want them in or not? So it's very, very secure from that point of view. And if you don't mind traveling in the morning or in the afternoon, during sunlight or daylight, you'll be fine. So just avoid traveling at night, and you will not have any problems. You can live here for a very long time and nobody will know you're around, because people just go about their business generally, as long as you can maintain a low profile and you're not the flashy type. And the most important one is the family and social connections. If you are in Nigeria, you have this familial connection where you have your family here, your relatives, and also your friends. Friends you've known for a long time, friends you grew up with. That's something that I've enjoyed since I've been here now a few weeks. Just reconnecting a lot of friends from the past. And that's, for me, that's kind of an element of life where you have your friends, your family, which in the West you don't have much or any of that. I know back in the West, most times it's because there's an event going on, like in the US, for example, there's Super Bowl, or in Canada, there's Thanksgiving. And that's when people kind of gather. And even when people gather, they half the time they are working during that holiday. So you don't really have that event, or Christmas, New Year, Easter. You don't have that event where you actually have everybody there with you. So it's really nice to be in a place where you can have your friends over, they can hang out with you, and it's kind of a good thing. The cost of living is a big one. The cost of living in Nigeria is like widely cheap. Labor is inexpensive, even cheaper than places like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Asia in general. Labor is very, very cheap. You can afford to get a driver, a personal driver, that can drive you everywhere. You can afford to have a chef or someone who can cook for you. And the person is like in your house. You give them a little quarter, and they're cooking for you every day, whatever you want to eat. So the cost of living is quite inexpensive. Things are very, very cheap. On $1, so at the time of this recording, which is about 1,500 naira, you can actually have a decent meal on just $1 or less than $1. The other one is the quality of life. The quality of life is like the type of food you eat, all organic food, the fruits are organic, and just the ability to just have healthier choices in terms of food. So if you wanted to have a serene environment, it's something that you can really look into, because of the quality of living. The quality of life is much better. The food you eat, what you drink, just quite better than anywhere else in the world. And there's the IJGBT. I just got back, IJGB. And then there's the IJGB. There's the IJGB and the IJV. IJGBs, I just got back, and I'm just visiting people. Whenever there's a holiday or festive period, it just lights up the whole society, lights up the whole community. And it's really interesting when you come to Nigeria during a festive period. It's like nowhere else in the world. family, friends, social events, parties, clubs, and just going out, and just the whole general atmosphere is just it's just kind of, it's quite interesting. So I just wanted to record this video to see if some of you out there, you're considering moving back to Nigeria, but you have doubts about security, you have doubts about safety, you are concerned about like your welfare, and that's not an issue at all. If you have kids or you have children and you want to consider moving back home, I think there are a lot of private schools that are really good, especially like in Lagos or places like Ibadan or places like Port Harcourt to Abuja. Really world-class private school, because there are a lot of if you think about it, there are a lot of expatriates, people that came from outside Nigeria, and the expatriates, when they come here, they take their kids to private schools, like a lot of schools even for kids with special needs. So in general, there's no reason why you should move to Nigeria at all, because everything you want is here. Yes, you might be thinking, well, what do I need to do in terms of how do I pay my bills? How do I have a paycheck? How do I have a job? And what I want to say about that is that there are a lot of opportunities in government. Yes, Nigeria is somewhat corrupt and you need to know people. It's more of like a pay to play. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, if you can get into the system now, this now you can get in, and the society, if you can get in now and make your way, it's better than coming back 10 years later. So everything in life is timing. If you time it so that you can come now, you figure it out, get a job with government or start a business or do your thing. It's hard, but it's now you can do it and you figure things out. You make your network, because your network is your net worth, and you make all those connections. I think you won't have any regret doing it early. And the last but not the least is that everybody who is Nigerian, who identifies as Nigerian, or who wants to be considered as Nigerian, will probably at some point want to come back home. A lot of us who are out there, you always think about home, like I want to come back home. So someone told me you either be brought back home or you have to come home yourself, especially if you are kind of like an original Nigerian, even African in general, against your will or for your will, in most cases anyway. So why not think about coming now and enjoying all the good things Nigeria has? So let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any comments below, leave it. And don't forget to like or subscribe if you haven't, and comment in this video. Thank you so much. I think it's time I end the video because somebody's just honking endlessly. All right, guys, have a good day. BattaBox.